A Runaway Bride for the Alpha Daddy. Chapter 1. Maren. I ran out on my own wedding in 4-inch heels, and let me tell you, the heels were the first thing to go. I threw them out the window of my Audi somewhere past Santa Rosa. One, then the other. Little white satin grenades bouncing down Highway 116 in my rearview mirror. The veil went next. The dress, unfortunately, stayed. It was $40,000 of hand-beaded silk, laced up my back like a corset and designed to be removed by a bridal attendant, a mother of the bride, or a patient husband. I had none of those anymore. I had a dead phone, a quarter tank of gas, and 300 guests back in Napa, currently learning that the bride had climbed out the bathroom window of a 5-star winery. I was 43 years old, a best-selling romance novelist, and somehow the most heroic thing I'd ever done was escape through a bathroom window in couture bondage. You cannot make this stuff up. Believe me, I've been paid very well to try. I'd written 19 novels about women braver than me, and not one of them had ever done what I did at 4:52 that afternoon, which was to look at my reflection. Professionally beautiful, professionally managed, professionally miserable, and think in a voice that sounded like mine before Grant sanded all the edges off. If you marry Grant Ellison, you will never write another true word as long as you live. So I ran. The coast highway swallowed me sometime after dark. Fog rolled in off the Pacific in great gray sheets, my headlights carving a narrow tunnel through it. I drove until the adrenaline burned off and left me shaking. Hands cramped around the wheel, stomach hollow, mascara dried in salt tracks down my face. I hadn't eaten since yesterday. Brides don't eat. Brides get sewn into their dresses, photographed from every flattering angle, and told by their fiancé with a gentle squeeze of the shoulder that looks loving from across the room.
Maybe skip the bread, Mare. The cameras.
3 years of skipping the bread. 3 years of learning how small I could make myself before I disappeared completely. The Audi chimed at me with a low fuel warning. Then, the fog broke apart like a curtain being drawn, and there it was. A smear of golden lights tucked against a black curve of coastline. A sign, half swallowed by wild fennel, caught my high beams. Cypress Bay, population 1,204. Below it, someone had bolted a smaller sign, hand-painted and crooked. You could do worse. A laugh punched out of me. Rusty, unhinged, the first one in months. Honestly, that sounded like a 5-star review of my current life. I took the exit. Main Street was 4 blocks long and shut tight. The bookstore was dark. The pharmacy was dark. Even the bar had its chairs up on the tables, which felt personally rude. My stomach growled loud enough to hear over the engine. A long, furious protest. My hands had gone from shaking to trembling, which even I knew was blood sugar and not just heartbreak. Then I smelled it. Even through the vents, even over the sea salt and eucalyptus, I smelled butter and garlic and something charred, rich, and alive. Wood smoke, caramelized onion, rosemary. My mouth flooded. My whole body turned toward that smell like a plant toward light. At the end of the street, right where the pavement gave up and became harbor, one building still glowed. Warm gold windows, weathered cedar shingles, a carved wooden sign swinging gently in the fog. Salt line. The chalkboard out front had been mostly wiped, but I could still read the ghost of it. Tonight, brown butter scallops. Closed 9 p.m. It was 9:47. Which, according to every reasonable social contract, meant I should leave. Unfortunately, I had climbed out a bathroom window 4 hours ago wearing Captivity by Vera Wang, so Reason and I were no longer speaking. I parked crooked across 2 spaces because the dress had a restrictive point of view on mobility. Then I stood on the sidewalk in the fog, barefoot in a wedding gown, 40 miles from anyone who knew my name. And I made a decision that would detonate the rest of my life. I knocked. Nothing. I knocked again, harder this time, with the flat of my fist. Fog beaded on my bare shoulders, cold as regret. My stomach snarled. Something in me took over. The same feral thing that had climbed out that bathroom window. I tried the door. It opened. Inside was an empty dining room, chairs stacked, candles snuffed, one long amber pendant still burning over a zinc bar. Music drifted from the back. Something Cuban. All brass and heat, followed by the clatter of a pan. And that smell was 10 times stronger now. It wrapped around me like hands. I followed it past the bar, through a swinging door, and into the kitchen. He had his back to me. That was what I saw first. A broad back in a white t-shirt gone translucent with steam, shoulders filling the space between two steel counters, dark hair salted gray at the temples, ink sleeving one forearm. He moved like the kitchen was an extension of his body. Pan, flame, wrist. No wasted motion, just a man moving with the kind of confidence that didn't need an audience. He was singing along to the radio, badly, in Spanish. My stomach growled again, a sound like a chainsaw starting, and he spun. A chef's knife appeared in his hand so fast I didn't see him pick it up. His body went still before his eyes swept over me. Hands, face, bare feet, the open doorway behind me. Then he stopped, stared. I watched him take me in. Ruined silk, mascara war paint, fog in my hair. His gaze dropped to my bare feet, to the blood streaking one heel. His expression changed. He was older than his back had suggested. Mid-40s, maybe more, with a face that had been lived in hard and well. Deep grooves bracketed dark eyes. His jaw was like the coastline outside, all rough edges. Not handsome the way Grant was handsome, polished to a shine and arranged to photograph well. Handsome like weather, like something that happened to you. He set the knife down, slow and deliberate, and when he spoke, his voice came out low and graveled, with the faintest curl of an accent underneath. It landed somewhere in my body I'd forgotten existed.
Kitchen's closed.
Your door wasn't.
Lock's been giving me trouble. Looks like tonight it gave up entirely.
His eyes made another pass from my ruined hair to my bare feet, and one dark brow climbed.
You leave a groom somewhere tonight?
Is there a wrong answer? Something moved at the edge of his mouth. It wasn't a smile exactly, more like the rumor of one.
You're shaking.
I'm fine.
You're gray?
Technically, I'm ivory. Bridal consultants get very intense about the distinction. His gaze didn't budge.
Come on, sit down.
Excuse me? He stepped around the counter, closing the distance before I could argue, one hand hovering near my elbow without touching me. With his boot, he hooked a stool out from under the counter and planted it behind me.
Sit down before you fall down, querida. I'm not scraping you off my kitchen floor.
I don't take orders. My voice cracked on it. I actually just ran away from a man who... My throat closed. I tried again. I don't take orders. That's kind of my whole thing now. New policy. He looked at me for a long moment. Steam rose between us. The music played. Fog pressed against the black windows. The smell of brown butter made my knees feel liquid. And this enormous, ink-armed, storm-faced stranger studied me the way I imagined he studied anything that came into his kitchen. Like he could see exactly what it was made of. Exactly what it needed. Then he pulled the stool out another 6 inches. His voice dropped. Softer, rougher, worse.
Please.
I sat. His gaze dropped to my heel.
You're bleeding.
It's nothing.
Didn't ask if it was nothing.
He pulled a clean towel from beneath the counter and set it beside my foot.
Pressure. While you eat?
I'm starting to suspect you do, in fact, give orders.
Only the useful ones.
Annoyingly, my foot was already on the towel. He fed me standing at the counter, watching until I took the first bite before turning back to the stove. Seared scallops and brown butter with charred lemon. Torn bread to drag through the sauce. A glass of cold mineral water that somehow never made it below half full. I ate like an animal. Because I was a woman who had spent 3 years skipping bread. At some point, I started crying. Silently. Tears ran off my jaw, leaving black tracks in the ivory silk. He had the magnificent grace to say absolutely nothing about it. He just set down another piece of bread.
Better.
He said finally. It wasn't a question. What's your name? I asked.
Dominic Reyes.
A beat.
Dom.
Maren.
Just Maren?
Tonight? My fingers tightened around the bread. Just Maren. He nodded slowly, wiping his hands on the towel tucked into his apron strings. His eyes held mine a second too long. Dark, direct, unhurried. Heat climbed my throat that had nothing to do with the stove. That was when the swinging door banged open behind me. A teenage girl in pajama pants stood in the doorway, phone in hand, braces flashing, staring at me with her entire face.
"Dad,"
She said,
"why is there a bride in our kitchen?"